What are you at, guys? Welcome back to Facility D20. My name is Troy and this is the fourth video in our series how to build the epic hobby table. This is going to be a pretty fun video. Today we're going to start to set up our painting stations, which we're going to put right back over here. I got a few essentials that we're going to take a look at today. We have a nice double-sided cutting mat here, a box of hobby tools that I got on Amazon. I'll post the links down in the description. We got a couple other odds and ends that I wanted to show you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and set this up, unbox it, and have a look at it. And then we're going to start to work on our painting station. It's not going to be 100% there yet, but at least we'll get to the point where we can start doing some projects again. So stick around, hit the subscribe button. Okay, guys. So here we have the XNM Creations, a Canadian company cutting mat. So we're going to go ahead and bust this thing out of the plastic, and we're not going to worry about cutting it because it's apparently self-healing. So let's just cut it down through. So here it is. It's a nice dull matte finish. It has a nice feel to it. Grips pretty well on the bench. This is the centimeter side, as you can see, running along the top and the sides here is a gridded pattern. It has angles all the way from 30 to 180 right down through. We flip it over to the other side here. We can see that this is the inches side, which I'm probably going to end up using more likely the inches side just because I like to work in inches a lot of time, but I'll probably flip back and forth. Here we see we have some hole diameters and some ovals on this side. Again, we have angles. The nice thing about these mats are when you're modeling, you can just use these gridded patterns quickly to make some cuts and stuff. So apparently this thing is supposed to be self-healing, as they say, like most of these. So if you cut down into it, you can see you got a little cut here that eventually this thing is just supposed to go back together or heal up. Now I wouldn't recommend just cutting into your mat all the time, but this is what this thing is for, to save the bench here. I'm going to go ahead here and use this small piece of foam and just do a little test cut here to see what it feels like. Yep, nice and smooth. You can feel that I'm just slightly cutting into the surface of the mat. Looks like it's kind of healing up nicely already. Go with something a little heavier, and let's just flip over to the other side, shall we? To the 1 inch side, I have a piece of foam board here. And probably gonna have to push a little harder with this rusty ass knife. The blade is pretty dull on this, but let's give it a go. Yep, that's a dull blade. Yeah, it's a pretty shitty blade I got on this now. And more rip through it than cut through it. Yeah, so pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Nice cutting mat here. So next up here, we're going to take a look at this hobby tool kit that I picked up on Amazon. There are a lot of different hobby tool kits on Amazon. I picked up this one because it was a pretty good price, and it pretty much had the essentials what I was looking for, plus a few extra pieces in there. Comes in a nice plastic case. Sorry, it's a bit of a glare on my camera here. It has a felt cloth here for screen cleaning. We have a file, nice rough file. Pair of clippers for popping out screws. An X-Acto knife with a protective cover and some blades. Looks like we have about a half a dozen blades in there. We have a small pair of tweezers, nice sharp tweezers. Couple of small screwdrivers here. We have another set of small pliers, angled pliers. It's nice to have a couple of sets of pliers around when you're doing small work, especially on dioramas and stuff. And we have a set of files with different grits here. So 2 files with a few different grits. So this was including this case. This is a nice little hobby kit to get yourself started in modeling. A couple of essentials here, like your clippers and your X-Acto knife and some blades, a couple of files, never go astray. So we got I just grabbed a quick sprue here from a Space Marine. See how well these clippers work. So a real nice feel to them. Nice small sharp point that can get in there. So a lot of times you'll have like these burrs and sprue marks and mold lines. There's a lot of different ways to kind of clean these pieces up. I like to use my X-Acto knife for the most part and just scrape off lightly the mold lines. But in order to do that, you need a nice sharp blade. Of course, you can always use a file to get those bigger pieces. Like on his feet here. So yeah, it works nicely. And for any bigger, rougher stuff, you have a bigger file here. So this is going to be good for some 3D printing. So yeah, this is the hobby kit. So next up here we have this little tool that I also found on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description down below. And this is a small table voice. Here you can see it's just a small, simple, adjustable table voice. This is good just sometimes to hold things while they're drying, or sometimes if you just need to grip that part that little bit extra tighter to kind of set something in place. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this on the side of my painting station here, and whenever I need to use it, it's right there. So this is a pretty cool little tool. I think it only costs like $10, so I mean for 10 bucks it's worth it. I had a couple older Citadel ones that kind of suction cupped on, but they didn't work very good because the suction cups kept popping off the table. So I'm going to set this one up here in the corner of my station, and shouldn't take up a lot of room. There you can see it's sitting nicely in its new home.